Hey, welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast podcast. This episode, we're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen, because we're recording live at Gruene Hall. My guest, he has a new single out called To Be Real. He is a master guitarist. You might have seen him in other bands, most notably John Wolfe, your country's music fan. And he's actually stepping out and doing his own stuff now. We're going to learn about his journey into that. We're going to talk a little bit about this historic venue because it's the oldest dance hall in Texas. Let me introduce Marc Sauceda.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it, George.
But yeah, we're in Gruene Hall. It's going on live. People are here.
Yeah, we're
People are
doing it.
hanging out. People randomly pass by. So if you see something, hopefully it's something funny, something cool, something, we'll see what happens. But I do think that this might be the first podcast being recorded at Gruene Hall. That's pretty special.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. We're making history here.
Making history, being part of history.
Yeah.
And if you guys are watching it, share it out because I want to be invited back.
there you go.
Most importantly, let's learn about Marc Sauceda. So let's sit back, buckle up, let's go too hard, too fast. Hey.
Game, no shame, baby, came here to play. I feel like an addict.
Hey, this is Marc Sauceda, and we're going too hard, too fast.
Right here in Gruene Hall, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So let's start off, Marc. Where are you from?
I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, but I've been in San Antonio for about 25 years, so a little longer than I was in El Paso.
So now you're a local, San Antonio local.
Yes.
How often do you go to Eagle? Almost
Oh,
Eagle Pass?
man.
We were talking earlier. We were talking about earlier. We have like a little
Hardly
rivalry.
ever anymore.
Really to El Paso. So I'm from Eagle Pass. So
EP.
earlier we were talking about the EPs.
Yeah.
And the rivalry between which one's the real EP or not.
Xavier, our bassist with John Wolfe, he's from Eagle Pass also.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
How old is he? If you think, oh well, maybe
He's probably about 40.
okay. I'm 38. I think
He's been
30-something.
in San Antonio for a long time too, though.
Okay, I've been here. I've been in San Antonio since 05. I want no.
Oh, well,
But here's the
that's
thing
a
that
long
we
time.
do in Eagle Pass is like once we know somebody's from Eagle Pass, it's like we've only had one high school forever.
Yeah.
So like, did we know each other? Probably not.
Well, that's the thing is like I was talking to somebody the other day. We were talking about being from El Paso, and it's like there's a lot of people from El Paso. It's like if you stayed there, something's up, because everybody moved away.
Yes, everybody. Same Eagle Pass. Everybody, as soon as you can, everybody wants to leave as soon as possible.
I love it though. I love El Paso.
I love
talk about all of
I love visiting. I've only been there a handful of times, but I've always had a great time. So you've been here. We're in Gruene Hall. How did you? When was the first time you learned about Gruene Hall?
I didn't know anything about it when I was a kid in El Paso. But when I got here, I saw that all the bands, all the acts, singers, and bands that I followed when I was a teenager in El Paso, like they all came here. They toured and they played here. So it was, whether it was Junior Brown or some of these older country guys, it was Merle Haggard or whoever, they played here. So I came up here to watch the shows. And then once I knew about the history of this place, I'm the kind of guy where I'm going to keep up with it, and I'm going to, I got into it. And then years later, I started playing here with backing up various acts. So I have a long history playing here, but as far as me playing as a solo act, this is pretty new in the last year or so, 6 months.
Yeah.
And this is just extremely exciting and very welcoming. The crew here has been so good to me, and I love it. This is like the spot.
Yeah. No, when I got here, I was super nervous to come down and ask them and let them know. But they waved at me as soon as I walked in, and they're like, they called me over, and I go, "Hi, I'm George," or I think I said Jorge. My real name's Jorge.
Yeah.
I'm here to meet Marc Sauceda, and we're gonna do a podcast. And she was like, all right, sounds good. Set up wherever you want.
Oh, they're the coolest, dude.
No, it was good.
They're so nice.
It was so cool because I've been here as a fan, obviously, and I'm always very like cautious about what I do. I don't know if other people are like that, but I'm kind of just like very cautious. Like I want to respect everything because it's been around forever.
Oh yeah.
The greats have come here and played, and from all kinds, from all kinds. Like we mentioned earlier, we mentioned it was maybe 1878, so you can imagine everybody that's been here.
You see the pictures, and then the opportunity to play up there and to be standing in that same spot. It's really kind of messes with you because it's like, man, so much has happened here. We're just a little speck of dust like on this big thing, you know. Yeah. It's bigger than anybody that plays here. Yeah.
So I want to dive into that. But I will say, so like obviously respect and everything. But after that said, hey, set up wherever. I'm like back here behind the equipment, moving stuff and looking for an outlet. And I felt like, wow, they've given me too much permission. But mentioning you playing, like I'm just here. I'm doing my thing at Gruene Hall, which is cool, being part of that history. But actually playing, you said that's the surreal feeling.
Sure.
Tell me what you felt the very first time you played, and how it differs now to where like now it's your own thing and you're playing.
Yeah. So, you know. Playing here, you see it on the calendar, and you kind of look forward to it. And you're like, and I had been here a million times before, right? So I was like, wow, I'm finally going to get the opportunity to be up there. And I was very lucky in that it was in a headliner situation. So it was, you know, I wasn't. It wasn't like when you play over here where you're kind of like, oh, you know. Can I get a water? You know, that kind of thing. Where so it was set up for us to. It was our show.
Yeah.
So that kind of took the.
And I guess for people that don't know, there's a main stage, and I'll put some clips of it. But there's a main stage, and that's usually when it's a headlining show.
Yeah.
And then there's a smaller area stage on the opposite side. And
which some of the best shows I've seen have been on that side. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Or you know what's the coolest is when they do the. I'm gonna get it wrong, but it's like Americana Fest.
Yeah.
And they have this stage going, and then as soon as that is off, boom, the next one's ready to go. And I've seen like big names off of both sides, so it's super cool.
And you know, being on that stage first and being at a headliner, it really kind of took away all those nerves of. Because I had already been doing this for a long time. But by the time I got up there, it was just about doing the gig. It was about doing the show. And I was, you know, kind of in my world with my band.
Making sure everything goes right.
Yeah. So it wasn't so much of, I didn't have anything on me. I didn't have anything on, you know, riding on me. Yeah. Like I just had to pull off the gig. So it was all fun. And it was all just soak it in, you know, just like, yeah, this is great. This is the place I always came. This is who I saw. This is the place I saw some of my heroes, you know. So being up there was just like, all right, cool. Like it was good. It was easy. Nice. I was more nervous the first time headlining on that side. You know, really? Well, you know, playing my gig over there, I was way more nervous than.
What made you more nervous?
Because I was the end of the line. I was the guy at the front. You know, and when the songs were over. And there was the dead space. It was like, oh, everyone's looking at me. But, you know, I couldn't just play guitar, you know, because that for me that's very easy. Yeah. I can play guitar with anybody, but singing and playing my songs, like it's like, oh man, all eyes are on me. Like I need to deliver. You know.
How are you like between songs? Like, do you do the talking
and sometimes I'm very lucky in that I have a lifelong friend playing drums with me. So we can kind of riff off each other, and he has a mic. So I feel pretty comfortable in that regard. But sometimes it's not that way. Yeah. You know, when I started doing this solo thing, I played a lot of shows by myself, solo acoustic shows. And those were just they were tough. They were tough. And then I I started to kind of lean into the awkwardness.
Uh-huh.
You know? So it's like, hey, I'm going to be up here for 3 hours. So if it's awkward for you, I'm going to make it a little more awkward.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I can imagine.
Yeah,
you know,
it's tough. It's tough. I was doing hotel gigs. I was doing restaurant gigs. I was doing
yeah, and that stuff
you
is
name
more
it.
intimate. So people are like, if they're there listening, they kind of just like,
Oh, you can
know,
hear
they
them at
can-
their table talking.
Yes,
and
that's
you're
what I was
just trying to
saying.
like, oh. But all my solo stuff, all the songs I wrote, I hashed them out. I worked on them. I worked on them in those restaurants. I worked on them in those hotel gigs. Like,
Yeah.
because I knew no one was paying attention, so I didn't
it
have anything to
allowed you
lose.
to make a
you know?
mistake here and there and learn from it. That's
Yeah.
cool. So to be real, let's talk into that before we talk, because I kind of want to walk through your journey.
Yeah, yeah.
But or actually, before we go into to be real, when did you get into like the fact that you know how to play music or play guitar, or that you had that talent?
Pretty early. And I didn't come from a musical background. Like, I didn't have a whole family full of musicians, but I had some. I had some influences. Cousins and my grandpa played, but in my household, it's not like there were guitars all over the house, but there was music all over the house. My parents played music all the time, in the car or at home. So I was always around it, and I decided that I wanted to play guitar. I saw La Bamba. I saw La Bamba when it was new. It was like a brand
The
new
movie, or?
Yeah, the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I want to do that.
Nice.
And I listened to, I had favorite artists that I listened to. So I asked for a guitar for Christmas, got it. And that was it. Taught myself.
You taught yourself.
Yeah, I taught myself. And then I kind of progressed, as far as I could.
How did you teach yourself? Because nowadays, like, people that get taught, like, I'm imagining this is not like in the YouTube days.
Oh, no. This was like, so if there was music
I'm not like trying to age you.
No, but definitely not.
When I tried to play a guitar, YouTube was around, but it wasn't.
No,
that
certainly
great.
not. So nothing like that. So it was very much, if I liked the song, I had to figure out how they made those sounds. I didn't know how to tune a guitar. I didn't know anything. And I bought magazines. I'd go to the grocery store with my mom, and I'd hang out in the magazine aisle, and there were guitar magazines. They had songs in them.
Okay.
They had where they would teach you whatever cool songs, and there would be like classic songs. And I figured them out, and I learned from them, and I just kind of learned patterns and stuff. But in school, I was in music class. I learned how to read music, and I did all that. So I've always kind of had like a double life of academic music and fun music. It still to this day, I'm a split person. Like, because I learned to read when I was pretty young, and I learned music theory and all that thing. But I loved heavy metal, and I loved hard rock, and I loved rock and roll and all that stuff. And those two sides of me, like, just kind of went side by side throughout life, hardly ever colliding, right? And so when I got to high school, it all kind of collided with this guitar class. I had a guitar teacher in high school, which we were so lucky to have, because as far as I know, they didn't have anything like that in San Antonio. They didn't have anything like that in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But the teacher was named Steve Marcus, and he really taught us how to be functioning professional musicians in public school, in high school. And I still draw on those experiences, and that's where it all came together. And that was high school, maybe 16, 17, to where I was like, I can do this, and I can play for real, not just with my buddies in the garage. I can actually be a musician,
Make a living out of it.
Yeah, and that was huge. That was huge.
So, like, And then after realizing that, what direction did you go? Was there like a specific path or?
No, like I said, two paths. So I had my buddies in the band, the rock bands that we had, but then in the back of my mind, it was like I was getting jazz gigs and I was doing kind of more pro gigs, and we always had bands. So when I moved to San Antonio, my friend that I played in the high school bands with, he was already here.
Okay.
He was going to college here. So we just started the band again, So we were playing all the time. And the other side of me started to get gigs, like real gigs, like pro gigs. And so I was kind of doing those two things. I was like, I want to have fun and I want to do the thing and party and travel around and play with my friends. But on the other side, I was like, whoa, I can make money doing
making
this.
real money.
Yeah, and it was so they kept going for a while, kind of until everybody aged out of the fun thing, right? And the dust settled, and I was like, well, do I want to do this, to try to make a living out of it? And I was old at that point. I was 25, 26, to where I was like, I'm going to do this as a job. I'm going to take these gigs and try to make a living as a musician. Yeah. And that's kind of where I've been. So all that other stuff, the fun thing kind of fell by the wayside until about 2019, which is many years later.
Yeah.
And that's where I picked this up.
Did you during those times around 25? Did you have a real job?
Yeah, so I went to school for a long time. Like I was like, super senior for forever right, in college. But I got a music degree and I was a pawnbroker. I was a pawnbroker for 12 years.
What is that, like
a pawn shop? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, forever. Forever. And I loved it. Nice. I loved it. And it was one of those things where when I was done so I had been doing pro gigs. And ironically, when I moved to San Antonio, it was not the most welcoming. San Antonio's tough. San Antonio's hard. Yeah. San Antonio's hard to break into because I think San Antonio is one of those places where a lot of people stay in San Antonio, right? So you have to kind of try to infiltrate these cliques of guys that they grew up together.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I want to play in your band, or I want to play. Can I jam with you guys? It's like, nah, man. I went to first grade with this guy. It's like, how do you?
Even if you're better than.
It didn't. It was hard. It was hard. Okay. It was hard to break in, right? And so, ironically, a lot of my first real pro gigs came from connections in El Paso, back home, because it wasn't like that in El Paso. Because you kind of had to fend for yourself there, and everybody was helping everybody as far as there were so few opportunities. But there was the musical environment that I grew up in El Paso. I knew people that were doing big things. I grew up with a guy that was at the drive-in. While when I was in high school, this band was becoming one of the biggest bands in the country.
Oh, wow.
So I could see it. It was not abstract. It was not like oh man, one day I want to be a rock star. It was like, I know a rock star, and he's like my age and he's doing it. But on the flip side, there was also professional musicians. There was touring guys that were very cool to me and that would throw me bones, that they didn't have to. Mm-hmm. Like, 'cause I was much younger than some of them, and they were very cool about that. So when I came to San Antonio and I was having a hard time breaking in, I still had that satellite of like, hey, there's a gig out of Austin, tour out of Austin. I'm going to recommend you for it. And it's like, oh man, it was the greatest thing. Because I didn't have, and the band that I was in with my buddy, Dave, we had a big break with a big producer out in LA. We went and made an album out in LA, but that happened in El Paso. And it was that introduction and that meeting happened in El Paso. And it was all based on that song from, what was it, 2002?
2002, yes.
Yeah.
I wish I can remember the name of it right now.
Can't Wait Anymore.
Yes.
Sitting alone, waiting by my front door. I can't wait anymore. It seems like I've waited my whole life just to see your face.
That's El Paso. That's
So you recorded that song in El Paso, or
no,
it was just happening?
we recorded in San Antonio.
Okay.
Gets confusing, but it was part of a compilation album of El Paso up and coming artists.
Okay.
So we recorded that, and it was a one and done. It was a one song deal. And I'm a big Dwight Yoakam fan.
Oh, same.
Forever.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so I kept up with them, and I knew that his longtime producer, guitar player, had gone on his own, and he was basically running his label and doing things on his own. So I had this band. I had my solo song. So we went and saw him. It was my wife and I, so many years ago, before we were married, so many years ago, went and saw him. And I passed the compilation. So he gets back. He's like, "Yeah, let's do something. Let's record. Come out to LA and let's record your album." So I was thrilled. I was like, "Oh, my band, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it." In 2005, we went out there and we did it. We made a real album in LA, put everything behind it, did the real big push.
Nice. Yeah.
So what I found out was, it wasn't the band song that he'd heard. It was my solo song. It was Can't Wait Anymore that he'd heard. Now, at that time, I would have never been like, "See you guys, I'm going to go do a solo album," because I didn't have material. I was not, and I was very self-conscious. Like I said, I was very much a collaborative guy.
Yeah.
Like, team, let's do the team. Let's go out and do this. But now I kind of look back and like, man, things would have been very different had I gone done
or
a solo album, or nothing,
or worse. I mean,
or worse.
You could, because it always sucks to be like that story that like oh, we were doing it together and they broke apart and they did their own thing. It's like, oh, what an asshole. Who knows? Who knows? That's the crazy thing about
And I think about that time a lot, because the dust has kind of settled on the music industry. And there was no worse time to try to start a music career than 2005, because it was post Napster.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-streaming.
Oh, okay.
There was a no man's land of about 6 years where you couldn't do anything. There was really not a way to get momentum. There was MySpace. But there was no platform. There was no platform. Because you're still doing CDs. You're still doing. You can't give somebody a QR code and go stream my new song. There wasn't that, So of course that thing fizzled out.
Yeah.
And everybody grew up and everybody got real jobs. But I was kind of like, that was the point where I was like, man, am I going to do this? And I had those connections, and I had kind of dipped my toes into the big time. So I was like, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to make this like my job. And there's been ups and downs, and there's, been great months, great years, and there's been down months, down years, and I'm still doing it. And I really took this opportunity to be like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot again. I'm going to give it a shot again.
All right, let's jump into To Be Real.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna break the fourth wall here. I'm gonna break the Hollywood magic that we were creating. I forgot to press record earlier, so we went like almost. I want to say we were getting close to that 30-minute mark, and I realized
it was a good one.
Yeah, I realized. So I'm not gonna try to pretend that I'm gonna guess what the lyrics were or meaning. But let's say this, I guessed it correctly.
That's right. That's right.
But I will say, I do want to say, through my own words that when you sent me the song uh, earlier before, I told you that it sounded like the perfect summer song to, people hanging out with people. And then when I finally got into like the lyrics, because I usually listen to like the melody or the song part of it.
Yeah, the energy, the
Yes.
vibe. Yeah,
When I
sure.
finally listened to the lyrics, I realized, it's still pretty cool, like for like a summer song, but like the meaning behind it is much deeper.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
What do you say to a sun that shines, road that winds, and love no regret? Would you take the bet? Destiny was never meant to be. Stick around and find what's left to see. Did it set you free? Take the wheel. How's it feel to be real?
You know, we were talking about why that's the lead single.
Yeah.
Like, so I have a song called "Not Dead Anymore" that really sums up, like, hey, I'm back. Like, I'm doing this, right? And I had always kind of thought that was going to be the lead single. And kind of close to the last minute, I was like, you know what? To Be Real is it, because it was very personal, and it was the first song I wrote for this project, and it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere in the fact that when I first wrote it, I got the first ideas and the first verse chorus in 2017. So this is a long time ago. And I wasn't writing songs at that time. I had no band. I was a side guy. I was playing country lead guitar. That's what I was doing. I wasn't writing songs. And we had
You say side guy like it's like not important, but I've seen videos, and I told you that our lives crossed paths before without even knowing, because I'm a fan of John Wolfe.
Sure.
So I saw you on stage, and when you get those the solos, dude, you kill it.
Oh
So,
man, thank you.
yeah.
No, and it might be a little, self-deprecating of saying side guy, because it's I know my role, and I know what, but the part of it is supporting the singer,
Right.
but
right.
part of it is when it's your time, you have
You gotta
to
shine.
you
Yeah.
have to do it, right? So I wasn't writing songs at this time, and I had some stuff going on at home, like my wife went through some stuff, and I was so bummed out, and I was so I had a little music room at our house that I'd go play guitar, and I would always just go mess around. But that day I wrote a song, and I had the presence to capture it on my phone, and that was just it. And it was for me. Like, I had to let it out, And so in 2019, when we started doing the idea of a band again, I thought about that, and it felt personal. It felt a little bit too much like, whoa, like, I don't know, man. That's not me. That's not Mark. Like,
It's too real.
it's too real, right? But like I was telling you, so I finished it. Later on, and I really got to thinking about what the song was about, and I really got to leaning into it and getting real about it. And it was it's about, in life, there's the givers and the takers, man. And there are people out there that genuinely want to help, and they give to everybody, and it doesn't always come back. And sometimes you're kind of left there with the piece. You don't have anything to show for your effort of being a kind, giving person, And those are the real people. It drains you. But those are the real people, because they don't stop. They don't stop doing it. There's those people that want to help, but they want to help because it makes them feel good.
Oh yeah, or to post it on social media, or some kind of extra value.
But the real ones, they do it because they're genuine, and they care. And there's takers, and we were all guilty of it. You don't notice all the time, and it's like, man, somebody was being really kind to me for a long time, you know, and it takes a big person to thank, and you have to be appreciative. And it's my wife, it's my mom, it's, you know, they won't stop. They're not going to stop. But there's sometimes there's no glory. Sometimes those relationships just disappear, you know.
Yeah.
I felt like writing about it.
It does, yeah, no, and that's good stuff, because as much as, you know, people like you mentioned, your wife, your mom, the people that actually don't stop, because I know when I try to give, I always think about, like, am I doing this because I want something in return, or because I actually want to?
Right.
So I kind of weigh that, and most of the time it's because I want to help somebody, but I'm not.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you see the need.
I'm not perfect.
You need, because we all struggle, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, if somebody needs help, like, what are you gonna? There's those people. They're not gonna turn their backs. They're gonna be like, hey, I have a couple extra hours today. I'm gonna make your life easier if I can.
Yeah.
You know.
But
And
then
it's that
there's certain people that even if they get burned, they try to help.
Right.
And I'm definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the kind of person that is like, oh, you burned me. That's it.
That's
You know,
it.
like, and I try not to be, but it's
Same here, and
like
I can hold a grudge, and it's like,
Yeah.
I hate that, and I try not to, you know.
But yeah, I want to say my wife too. Like, she's very much wants to give. Like, she's good at saying no.
Yeah.
And that's something like I try to tell her, like, no, you can't say yes for everything. But she's
Right,
really good
yeah.
at saying no to me. But no, yeah, like, no matter how much she says, like, I'm tired, I'm doing this, and then she gets a phone call, like, oh, I'm gonna help so and so, or so needs this. I'm like,
We're doing it, and we're doing it, and I'm doing it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I'll
I'm
go
right
there with a
there.
grudge.
I'm
It's like,
right there.
I don't even like these people. No. But yeah, it takes a different kind of person to, you know,
Sure.
want to be that. But yeah,
And I was very, you know, I didn't show that song to anybody. I didn't show that song to anybody for a long time, and because my buddy Dave, who's my drummer, we grew up together. We played in bands in high school in El Paso, and so every once in a while, I would just check in with him and be like, "Hey man, check out this guitar riff," you know. And he'd be like, "Cool, sounds good," and then it would end there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have. I'm a collaborative guy because I'm self-conscious, right? I want to be like, "Hey man, let's go. Let's do this, right? Let's do this together." So we both look like fools if it's lame, you know. So I and it never materialized.
And it's always easier to look like a fool with somebody else.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I was always like, all right. I showed him my cool little guitar riff. All right, I got it out. That's enough, right? But I never wanted to show anybody my songs. Like, that was another thing. So in 2019, you know, a friend of ours is going through a cancer battle. Larry Garza, comedian, and we were playing a benefit, and my wife was like, "Why don't you and Dave do something?" You know, but we hadn't played together in years, and we didn't have any material. Our material we had was from when we were like 20, 21 years old. So we did it. We got his brother on bass, and we did a little 3-piece thing, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but at the end of it, we were like, "Oh, our old songs kind of suck. Like, we need new songs." And I was like, I have songs, you know. But then the pandemic hit, so it got shelved again.
Yeah,
I had to make money. We had to figure.
Yeah.
So the fun gig got put on the back burner, you know. But in that time, you know, over the pandemic, I got real familiar with GarageBand, and I was, you know, because I'm a bit of a producer and arranger myself, so I knew how to put songs together, but I had never really done it for myself. So it was one of those. It was hard. It was hard to self-edit. It was hard to get meaningful lyrics. It was hard to really tell a story. Because before, in the old days, I would come up with the stupidest songs. You know? But now, I kind of got the hang of it, and it was like they started to fall in place, one after another, one after another. And I would finish these demos, and I would send them to Dave. And I would send them to another friend of mine that played drums with John Wolfe, Sean Sankey, who I had a long friendship with too. He's a producer. And they were both telling me like, hey, these are really good songs. You should do something. You should do something. And Sean was really the catalyst of like, yeah, let's do this. Let's record these songs. And he went above and beyond to facilitate that. So we went in and did it. We went and recorded it, and they came out far better than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, playing my songs is what Dave and me and my buddies did in my garage. And we would play, those venues in San Antonio. And it wasn't serious, right? But having this producer, what I would hear back, I was like, whoa, this is serious now. Like, this is
like their feedback, or like the
like
music
what
itself?
he would record and the way we were doing it. And I was like, wow, this is legit.
Okay.
So we put some stuff behind it. Like, let's do it. Let's really do it. Let's book those gigs. And Gruene Hall was very receptive to it. They were very receptive to it because they're John Wolfe's been playing here for many, many years. So it's like, oh, his guitar player's got a thing. Yeah, let's do it. Let's let it. And everything's been going well. So I was very fortunate to have that opportunity with Gruene Hall.
Yeah.
And with my buddy Sean recording me. Like, if I didn't have that, I don't think. So I'm the kind of guy that has to see kind of the goal line, right?
Yeah.
If we're just playing my songs at gigs, it doesn't really mean anything. But if there's a finished product, that's something to work towards.
Okay.
And I had been doing that as a professional for 15, 20 years. So I know how to do that.
Yeah.
But to do it for myself was a whole other thing. It was a whole other thing.
Do you feel, because I can imagine that putting your feelings or your thoughts into a song that people will hear, and you saying that you're very subconscious yourself, does that mess with you?
Yeah, but I'm self-conscious, but I'm not scared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'll like, I don't know, we were talking about earlier, leaning into the awkwardness.
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'll do the thing, and if it's hard, I'll just you grin and you do it. You grin and bear it, But being I think musicians kind of have, that imposter complex, and I know I do, because I always, music was always the thing with my friends and the thing with my buddies, but then it didn't, like, it wasn't that way. When I got older, I'm playing with people that I knew who they were. Like, they were legit musicians, and you kind of get that sense of like, oh man, do I belong here? Like, this isn't my buddies in the garage. Like, this is somebody whose records I've heard. This is somebody who's, who I look up to, musically, or respect musically. Mm-hmm. Like, do I deserve to be on this same level with them? So that's kind of always a monkey on my back, but I'm not scared. But it's like, oh man, yeah. Like I kind of feel like I got away with something. You know what I mean? But with John, we played the Grand Ole Opry a couple times. That's big time, yeah. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Like, and other legendary venues, and it's like, you sit up there, you're up on stage, and I'm looking at my guitar that I had in those garage, in the garage. I'm looking at my, my pedals or my whatever, and I was like, man, I feel like I snuck in here or something. Like, are they gonna notice?
Yeah. But that's interesting.
It's hard. It's hard to shake that, for me anyway.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's a different kind of situation, but like on the way here, I got super nervous. I was looking forward to it all since we had planned it, but on the drive here, I started getting real nervous.
It's unknown.
Yeah, it's the unknown. What's gonna happen? Like, it's gonna be open. It's gonna be like,
it's the unknown.
We're gonna be. But so far, it's been great. Like,
well, I'll tell you what's weird. When we were talking about you were asking me about playing here for the first time.
Right.
So there's a thing, you kind of, I'm kind of a creature of habit, and I always like to have a home base, right? So it's like in John's band, we have what's called Guitar World, and it's our guitar case, and it's a rack, and it's our spot. I have my drawer, I have all my stuff in there, I have my phone charger, my guitars are there, and that never changes. We play all over the country, and that thing is there, right? So I go home, and I check in, and that's like my spot, right? And I think it's kind of that way for all of us. Like the environment can be anything from, Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, which is like another legend. This is like a Gruene Hall type place, or any of those legendary places, and they're scary, and they're kind of like, oh man, you don't know, you get nervous, you don't know what's happening. But if that guitar vault is there, I'm like, all right,
it kind of grounds you.
Yeah, it grounds me because that's familiar, and but it's tough. It's tough not knowing what you're in for, But then after you're there, it's
once you're in, and that's because my wife always says, like, I don't know how you put yourself in those situations. Like, I could never bring attention to myself like that. I was like, most of the time, people are not even paying attention to whatever you're doing. Like, if they're interested, that's the best. But most of the time, people are just busy with their lives.
Yeah.
But
no one's thinking about you.
Exactly. I don't even know, like, if anybody's like, anyway, I put some stickers out there, and I don't think there's like a lot of traffic out here, and they're all looking at what's being set up, and nobody's like, I don't think anybody has taken a sticker. Now I'm bummed that nobody. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know what it is either. Like, I like to put myself in these situations, the unknown, and just doing it as best. The big thing for me though is making sure that I do right by my guest.
Right.
Like pressing the record button when I'm supposed to. Yeah. That's the only thing that really like messes with me. Is like, I need to make sure that I value their time.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I really. But other than that, whatever it is, like people have had me go up on a stage and talk. I'm good. I get real nervous. Yeah. I get that jittery, but
so do I.
I like that.
If I don't have my guitar, I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck, like, because it's very easy for me.
Yeah.
I'll play guitar all night for anybody, but speaking or especially opening up or anything. Wow, like that's tough.
So your new single, or not the one coming after, To Be Real, I'm Not Dead Anymore.
Yeah, Not Dead Anymore.
When is that coming up? Or do you have a set date?
It'll be August. I'm probably thinking like the second week of August, because it keeps getting pushed back because we shot a video for To Be Real, which is going to be really cool. And I haven't really talked about it a lot, So the reception to the single
I think I asked you about it and you didn't even respond to my text. I was like,
the response to the single has been really, really good.
Okay.
And I feel great about it.
Yeah,
I feel really good about it. So we shot a video, as my wife works in film. She does she does production design for all sorts of things, from film, television, advertising, the whole gamut. So she's kind of in the scene, she's in the scene, and it came up. It's like, well, let's do it. Let's get a crew together. Let's shoot a video, come up with an idea. And we did it, and it looks fantastic. Like, I had no plans to shoot a video. No, like, I was just going to put this stuff out, but so now I'm like, wow. So
and when is that supposed to?
Next week.
Oh, okay.
So
by the time this is out, it's out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the second single, I was like, well, let's let the video hang out for a little while. Yeah. Because I have so many. That the original recording was supposed to be a 6-song EP, but now it's kind of turned into like a 10 or 11 song album. So it's going. It's ever evolving project. So we're just going to release singles.
So now it's pretty much a full album. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what the song is about?
Oh, Not Dead Anymore? Oh yeah, that was. I think I had the aesthetic of the sound I was going for before the lyrics. Like I wanted to write a song that was kind of 70s British glam, like T-Rex, David Bowie, Slade, The Sweets.
Yeah, so when you say like glam rock, or
like
am I wrong?
glam rock, yeah, glam rock, like not like Sunset Strip, like not like Poison, not glam metal, bro. like 70s stuff, right? So, and also kind of Oasis, because I'm
a fan of glam rock. I'm just saying, so that's why I was like.
And this was before the Oasis reunion.
Okay.
So when they announced they were getting back together, I was like, oh, I was like, no. But anyway, so I wanted to write a rock song like that, right? So I wanted it to have a little attitude. And the song is really about, over my life, you know, I was telling you I have those two paths. There's two marks going. And sometimes I just drop off the face of the earth with people, with friends, with bands, with music.
Yeah.
So to where I had a gig. I had a gig for a long time. I was in a band at Cowboys Dance Hall for 10 years, for a really long time. And I felt like I had dropped off the face of the earth. I was gone from the fun band with my buddies, gone from the touring professional bands. I was in one place, right? So when I got out of there, and I enjoyed it, but when I got out of there, my musical world was wide open. It was wide open. So it was kind of a proclamation, like, I'm back, you know. Yeah. And you hear some of the lyrics are a little bit, have an attitude about them where it's like, you know, because you'd hear a little talk about like, hey, nah, he doesn't do this anymore. Nah, he's all this now, or he's gone, or whatever. And it's like, all right, now I'm full on now. Like I feel like I play more now with so many different people doing my thing, doing the sideman thing, doing production, doing band leading. I'm all over the place now, and it feels great. It feels really good because in 2019 it was pretty singular, and I was getting stale, you know. But now I'm like, let's do anything. You know? Nice. So that's what that song was, a proclamation of like, I am back. Like, I'm back.
I like that. I'm excited to listen to.
Yeah, I love that one.
So when you say you drop off, is there a reason? Like, do you know why you do it, or is it just something that happens?
I'm that way. Like I get. It's kind of funny because I have kids, and I see a lot of me in one of my sons, you know, and he gets into something, and he's into it, and it's like a tunnel vision thing. And I'm kind of that way. I'm that, but not so much like. It's not specifically like, oh, I'm into this band, or I'm into this job, or I'm into this. I do it with all sorts of things, right. And I kind of drop off, and I come back, and that was the thing a lot with my buddy Dave, with the drummer. We didn't hang out or talk as much as we used to for a good period of time. And when he was so receptive to doing this band and this music, I was like, oh, right, man. Like, okay, cool. Like he didn't forget about me. He didn't give me the finger, you know? Yeah. So, and I think he knows that I'm just kind of that way. You know, I've been with my wife for 25 years. So I've been with her for a long time. And it's like, I'm very, I'm a serial monogamer in things, you know, yeah. In music and guitar and relationships and interests, you know, and I get into things, and sometimes other things go by the wayside.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That song and that thing is like, hey, I'm still here. I'm sorry. You know?
No, that makes sense. And I see that. I get I don't want to say like it's the same thing, but I kind of see that in myself where like this, for instance, like one of my buddies, this actually started in 2022 or when the
Yeah.
pandemic, my buddy was like, let's do it. And I was like,
Oh,
and
it's hard
then-
to step in first, though, right?
But now I was in, and he once everything opened up, he got busy getting back to real life, and I was just like, no,
Wait a
I'm all in.
minute, yeah, I still like do this.
It's like I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
But then other stuff is like, but the other thing is, which is why I'm real bad with social media, and I should be a lot better. Or I know what I should be doing. The thing is, like, I will drop off from there too, and just focus on life, or family.
yeah.
Like, no, I want to spend time because I have a son too. So I was like, I'm gonna spend that time, and not everything is about the camera or
Sure.
the picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
And I think in my scenario, like, it gets tricky with music and with bands and stuff because for some people, it's like a fun thing you do on the side away from your day job, right? But when it became my day job, I think there was like a hard thing to balance, where it's like, oh, I can't do this for fun because I got to do this for a living, So it's like it's not the same for me as it is for you. But the flip side to that is when you're surrounded by the same kind of people, and you're all in it for work, and you're all in it, to make a living, you can kind of lose sight of those other things and doing it for fun and doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah. And that's where I try to do what's the right thing or what I think is right, because I would love to make this my day job.
Yeah, of course.
Like, or something that revolves around this. So like we were in South Padre not too long ago, and we're sitting at the beach, outside of the water, just like where the water can barely you're sitting down and kind of just enjoying that moment. And I'm just looking out, and my wife, she probably regrets asking me. She goes, "What are you thinking about? Like, you look so like miserable now." And I was like, "I'm having a great time. What do you mean? It's just enjoyable." So, but your face is different. It's like, I go, "You really want to know what I'm thinking about?" It's like, I'm thinking about what's next.
Yeah.
So, and I've told her forever, like, my mind doesn't stop. Like, I may stop recording things or whatever, but my mind's not, like, it's still going. Like, it's thinking about,
sure,
what are we gonna do after the beach? Are we making sandwiches, or we're gonna go find something to eat? But also, like, what am I supposed to be doing for the podcast? Okay, I have this coming up. Did I do enough research? What else?
Sure.
So my mind's always going. She's like, looking at me, like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, it's like, I'm enjoying the moment. But at the same time, my mind is everywhere else.
Right.
So it's, but no, yeah, like I would love, one day for this to be the thing. But so I get it. And I,
yeah, and it's funny because I'm still very split, man. My brain, because I still think the Marc Sauceda solo thing, I'm not doing that for a living, like, yeah, I'm making money doing it, but that's still very much a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I could do that all the time, wow, that would be crazy. But that's so, right now it's just like a fun thing with my buddies, and the fact that I'm able to put it out as a product, like that's just a plus, right? But I do have my day job, and I do.
But what is your day job is still a musician?
Well,
right?
yeah. But it's different. It's different.
Okay.
It's different for me. And that's the thing. Is like ever since high school, it was split. And it happened in high school. I had that teacher, Steve Marquez, that changed everything for me as far as guitar playing and music. He showed me like a real path where, like, oh, you can really do this, And when I was in high school, there was like a local jazz legend in El Paso named Art Lewis, and he played around town. And my teacher tells me, he goes, "Hey, go to go to the Cincinnati bar on a Wednesday night. I'm like 16 or 17. He goes, go to the Cincinnati bar on a Wednesday night, tell him you know me, and he'll hire you. And I did. And I was a kid. I was super young, but I was not scared. I was like, all right, yeah. And I thought I was hot stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play guitar for Art Lewis, whoever that is. I don't even know who he is. So I go and I show up, and the guy gives me the gig, and I played with him, and that was kind of his MO. Is he would hire young cheap players. They were usually from UTEP. They were usually from the university. But I would play guitar with this guy on Wednesday nights, and I made money. And then Steve had a bunch of gigs, but he would let me sit in on these hotel gigs at the Dome Bar in El Paso. And I would do that but then I still had my buddies that I would play with on the weekends. So it was that split thing,
Yeah.
But I was taking home money playing guitar, which was wild to me. I was like, okay, I could do this, I could do this. And it was always jazz. It was always country. It was always my first touring gig. My first was this like techno cumbia band thing. So it was never stuff that I listened to on my own. It was never rock or punk rock or heavy metal. That's what I did with my buddies. But this work life of playing guitar always existed aside from there, so it's like there or there.
That is crazy. That is funny.
I mean, still to this day, I still think about it that way. Like there's the real stuff and there's the fun stuff.
And somehow I feel like nowadays, do you feel yourself trying to merge it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And recording this EP
it's there
was very much a collision of those two worlds of like, because I had to produce myself, and it was very hard. It was very hard for me to do that because I could produce and arrange for other people like a job, like a day job. I could go and do it by, paint by numbers. Like, hey, this is what works. We're doing this. But when I had to turn it on myself, it was like, oh, I don't like that. And still I needed a collaborator. I needed Sean Sankey. I needed Dave, where I would bounce ideas from. But if I'm the guy doing it for somebody else, I was very sure of myself, very sure of telling them what to do. But when I had to do it myself, I'm like, hey, Sean, what do you think about this? Or Dave, I don't know, but So yeah, it's still those worlds definitely collided. Definitely. I mean,
that's awesome. It's awesome because it makes sense, in a different path, and it's always cool. I always find this is why I love this because it's so interesting to see how people are living their lives, even if they're living. I guess to most this would be living the life, but you're still like it's a different story.
Right.
Most people probably don't hear.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
I think that's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like playing with John is about as cush as a gig you can imagine. It's a tour bus. It's the all the stuff. It's everything you wanted. Everything you're excited that was unattainable, right? And it's like, but when I started booking gigs on my own, and it was these kind of like Fleabag, like hole in the wall gigs, I would get so excited. I was like, man, we're doing this, And then sometimes I'd be like, oh, don't you miss the bus? Don't you miss the, the road crew and the monitor guy and the perfect this? And absolutely.
Driving of course yourself to using your own vehicle. That's funny. Of course. This kind of reminds me, oh man, it was way early. 2000, before 2010 for sure. Jack Ingram was he was popular already here in Texas, but I think he had just did the whole CMT thing and
it was on Big Machine Records.
But I went to this. It was like I got lucky, invited to a private party at this. I won't name where it is. Jack Ingram was there as the musical act, and nobody really knew who he was, or maybe they did, but maybe they were just real cool. I don't know what it was, but I knew who it was, and I was like, this is awesome. He's like literally right here. And then he finished playing, and then he came out. And he was like pretty much drinking with us.
Yeah.
So he was like drinking with it. Like I remember, I was sitting right next shoulder to shoulder watching some magic show, like this guy doing random magic in front of us. And we're both
That's
like,
funny.
wow.
Wow. You're sharing that moment with
Yeah,
Jack
it was
Ingram.
cool. We took a picture together. I hope I still have it somewhere.
Oh,
It's a
funny.
Polaroid picture with them. He was just like, yeah, boys, let's take a picture.
That's
And then,
funny.
we went. But the thing with what I'm trying to say is that we left almost together, and he gets in his truck. And I'm like,
There he goes.
yeah, he drove him. I don't know why I thought he was like,
right.
yeah.
That's those are the things you think, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, well,
It's like we're both the same almost. We're both leaving in our view.
oh yeah.
Not the same at all, but
Man, it was like weirdly enough, I have some musical roots. I have a big connection to Los Angeles, but since that trip in 05,
Mhm.
I made lifelong friends, and in roots country music in Los Angeles, which is a thing, and which is still a thing. And when I would first go see some of my heroes play, like these are people I idolized, and I would go see them play in these small little bars or and it was so wild to me. I was like, man, that's so-and-so just loading up his stuff into the trunk of his car, like this guy sold 50 million records, and it's that kind of thing of like, wow, they're just regular
normal
people.
yeah, that's a
It's
crazy
weird.
thought.
It's weird.
And luckily with this, I've been able to meet people.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
would have never thought I would have met you.
Yeah, man.
Somebody I've seen on stage, just never knew I saw you on stage.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. I don't know. It's just like, yes, we're normal people, but like there's so much story. And
Yeah,
that's what
there's
I-
stories.
it's so
There's
crazy.
stories. Yeah, and there's a lot of weight, like behind stuff. And sometimes you have to. Oh man, yeah, I've gotten to work with and meet some people that I just never thought
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's kind of not even music people. I remember the one time I was very starstruck was I met Roger Clemens. I'm a big baseball fan, and he knew my band,
Okay.
and he knew who I was, and I was just like, wait, no, I'm supposed to be like asking you about stuff, and I'm supposed to be like grilling you about being Roger freaking Clemens, but he's asking me questions, and that was like, or like Kiefer Sutherland. I met Kiefer Sutherland at a gig one time, and he was about to go on stage, and he was nervous, and I was like, I had just gotten off stage, and he was nervous, and I was like, whoa, he's freaking out right now. Like that's weird to me, man. Like we're like it's not a big deal. Like just go up and do the gig. But
Yeah.
it is. I'm in my mind. I was like pep talking Kiefer Sutherland, who was like, "It's my Young Guns, dude. That's it's Charlie. It's
Yeah.
Charlie, right?
That's awesome.
That's Doc Skurlock, right? The Young Guns. That was Kiefer Sutherland's.
Oh, I don't know. People are starting to show up a lot more. I see your
Oh,
band's
yeah.
starting to set up. So I'm
Oh, are
gonna
they there?
I'm gonna get you out.
They are.
But because you're about to go on stage, this is the coolest thing too that you're about to play.
Yeah.
But two questions.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for? Well, the last one's gonna be your too hard too fast story. But what advice do you have for like somebody that's trying to start off right now in the music business?
Just trying to start off. Don't limit yourself, and at the same time have a clear defined identity of yourself. Be self-aware and be self-defined as what you are, what you can offer, but don't box your abilities in. Take those gigs, take those weird gigs, take those musical opportunities where you're like, nah, maybe I'm not the right guy for it. You might be, you just don't know it, So don't limit yourself, but be clearly defined as yourself.
Nice. Too hard too fast story. Before we do that, where can people find your music or you?
Look me up on Instagram, Marc Sauceda, MarcSauceda. It's an A at the end. And my music's on all streaming platforms. It's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon. It's everywhere. So keep an eye out because the singles are going to keep on coming.
Perfect. Too Hard, Too Fast story is a cautionary tale, words of wisdom, or a funny story, whatever you feel comfortable saying.
Oh, Too Hard, Too Fast story. I think there was a story. So somehow I was tasked with recording Flaco Jimenez for a song for a country artist.
Uh-huh.
He was going to guest on a song, and the producer called me up. He's like, "Can you do this so he doesn't have to come out here? Just do it in San Antonio. Knock it out. It's going to be." So it was one of those things where it started out like, "Hey, great, this is going to be easy, piece of cake." But as the details and the days got closer, it was like, "Okay, don't call his management. Here's his home phone number. Only call this. Don't let this person know. Don't do this." And it was just one of those things. I had never done anything like this before. I was a kid. I was in my 20s, and I was tasked with this for a big time producer for a big album. And he's like, "Don't let anybody know."
Sounds sketchy.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. He's like, because what he told me is like, they're going to hold you up for money.
Yeah.
They're going to jack it up. So, all right, I'm going to do this. So I had it down. I talked to him. I called him on the phone. It was Flaco Jimenez. I'm talking to him on the phone. Great. We set it up. Perfect. We had the day. It was like I think it was a Sunday morning we were going to do this. So then leading up to the gig, the producers, like the recording session, the producer's like, "You got to keep an eye on him. He's going to ghost you." I'm like, how do I do that? So we're the day before the show, the night before the gig, I had a gig, but I was just checking social media. It was MySpace at the time. Checking social media, and I see a post of Flaco Jimenez on stage with Willie Nelson in Austin.
Okay. Oh.
I'm like, he's not going to make 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's not going to happen. I'm freaking out. I call the house. It's a home number I have. Answering machine the whole time. And I'm just sweating bullets. And I get up I do my gig, and I get up the next morning. I call him up. Sure enough, he's like, "Mark, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And he showed up, nailed the whole thing.
Nice.
But basically, this is like a cautionary and a cool story of like, get all the details up front. Know what you're going to do. Get a second phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a time sensitive cautionary tale, because now you can just find people. But I say, I don't know. I don't know if you can find Flaco Jimenez right now. I don't know if you could. I haven't tried.
Even then, there's some people like my family always jokes, if you need something or you're in an emergency, do not call Jorge. He's not going to answer. Call his wife. Call somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get a second number.
Or if you're worried about Jorge, you haven't heard from him, call his wife. He'll know where he's at.
Oh, we used to go on the road. I didn't have a cell phone until 2007. I used to go on the road with this guy, and my wife would have to call him because there was no way to get a hold of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's hilarious. Real, it's a yes or no question. And I said the last one was the last question.
Yeah.
Have you been able to use the secret Willie door entrance?
Yes.
Yes. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
That's cool. I mean, it's hard to crawl and
I
get in and out of, but yeah.
I always try when I'm
used
here, like looking at for a band. I'm always trying to like see when they're coming through it.
Yeah,
Like, it's so cool.
It's like, boom, there's the cop there and the whole deal. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we just went Too Hard, Too Fast with Marc Sauceda, and listen to his music. And remember, Dare to Be. Nope, that was the old one. Sit back. No, shoot. I already forgot my outro. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Thanks for joining.
Dude, Jorge, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, this one went smooth to the very end.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.